Hello and welcome back to the Lord's Last Play. I am your host, Megan Ben, and I'm so glad to be back with you this season for the second edition, talking all things Lords, all things varsity. In our space today, we have the mechanics, brains, and operations behind our strength and conditioning program, Manny De Jesus, our head S&C coach, and we also have Jonas, one of our student coaches. How are you guys doing today?
I'm doing really, really well. Jonas?
I'm good as well.
Doing good, doing
Fantastic.
good.
Yeah.
Great to hear it, and I'm so glad I could have you guys on our first episode this season. So let's start off with Manny.
Sure.
Manny, you are at the helm of S&C. How long have you been in this role?
This one specifically, it would be 5 years now. I think my first year was in 2020 during the pandemic. So that was my very first year here.
That's good. And Jonas, how long have you been a student S&C coach?
May of 2024, May 2024, I believe. That's when I first started.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
working in the summer.
no more rookie.
No.
Okay, so let's talk about our S&C spaces. So recently we had a renovation. So now we have the original upstairs space, and now we have the new space down below. How has that expanded the S&C program?
Well, I think the reason why we expanded was because of popular demand, and as more teams bought in, more athletes wanted to train consistently. We just couldn't fit everybody in the small space, and I'm sure everybody's seen that now. And now it being a shared space as well, we've had to kind of limit the numbers there. So we've had to find creative ways to pretty much, provide the athletes with more hours, even different equipment as well. So pretty much for the program, it just means that we have a larger volume of athletes, which also then means that I have to recruit more student coaches in order to kind of provide those hours.
Yeah. Do you think we've outgrown the space already? Do you think we need a bigger space again?
I think what it feels like is this program is outgrowing me. I think that it's moving in such a way where it's getting to a point where, I already with my role, I'm managing both, Durham College as well as Ontario Tech. So that's already kind of, crazy. And then having the two spaces, I'm constantly running up and down the stairs, making sure that my team up there and my team downstairs are okay, especially in our first couple of weeks. This is our first time opening both gyms. So kind of learning the different spaces, again, different resources. It's been very interesting.
Yeah, getting those steps in though, I bet.
Yes.
Okay, well, can you share a little bit about your vision then and how you want to run the program this year?
So for my vision, more on the internal side, I'm really hoping that, for any student, especially let's say in kinesiology or in the fitness and health promotions program, if they're interested in fitness or strength conditioning, that our program becomes the hub where everybody develops and learns and how to be a proper coach, especially in the weight room, knowing how to build athletes and help them prepare for the next level. That's on the internal side. But for the athletes, I'm hoping that eventually we get to a point where every single team has their own delegated S&C lead, where, for the weight room, for, testing, training, athlete load work, monitoring or athlete load monitoring, you have someone there responsible working with the sport coach, making sure that they're not doing too much or not doing enough. So a good balance there.
Okay, that makes me excited as an athlete. I love visiting S&C. So Jonas, you're on both sides. So you're a coach, and then you're also a dual sport varsity athlete.
Sheesh,
so
yeah.
baseball and volleyball. Nice having that fall and winter segments. How does it feel to be on both sides of the fence, coming in for your training and also training others?
I mean, it's cool, man. Like, I'm really comfortable with the space, like, because I've been here for so long. Some days, maybe I don't feel like doing a specific program. I can just make my own up, almost. And if I need help, I'll ask Manny or ask another coach, like, what do you recommend I should do? No, it's great, honestly.
What made you want to get involved as an S&C coach?
So in my first year, I was, like, infatuated with S&C. I came, like, 5 days a week. I was lifting pretty heavy. It was cool. And I spent so much time there, and I started to, like, kind of get a rapport with the trainers, and I'm like, hey, you know what? Sounds pretty cool. And I had a teammate at the time, Tyler. He's still on the team now, and that was his first year, I believe. So I was like, hey, you know what? This sounds pretty cool. I'm in the same program as you. Might as well give this a shot. Because I was in fitness and health as well, coaching is like part of the program, and I thought, what better way of learning than actually trying to coach?
Yeah.
I will gas up Jonas a little bit. What I saw originally too, why it was an easier transition, like him joining the team.
Yeah.
Because he naturally likes to help people. So let's say his teammates, if he trained with them, and Jonas was really good. Like when Jonas knows something, he's very, very good at teaching it.
Yeah.
And so when I saw him go through mechanics, and it starts with him moving well first, right?
Yes.
So he leads by example, and he was just very enthusiastic. All the things he was saying was like very helpful, very good. Everything that I agreed with. So I'm like, are you interested in coaching? Would you want to join the team? So it kind of, you know,
Okay, Jonas.
came
Yeah,
together on that. So
I expect you to be Manny's subordinate next year once you graduate.
It just maybe.
I think I just secured you a job. Okay.
That'd be true.
So new to the podcast this year is a different segment. Last year we had most likelies. This year we have we listen and we don't judge, although I am always judging. Okay, we listen and we don't judge. What is the funniest excuse you've heard for skipping a workout?
Funniest. Oh, to be honest, I don't hear that many. I can't lie.
okay.
People just like, but yeah.
We're locked in? Okay, I'd love to hear
Like,
that.
yeah, you know what? I'll
Many
I'll
might
guess
have,
up
yeah.
all the athletes. I would say that for the most part, I think as of recently, I don't think I've heard any excuses. Everyone actually, it seems like, sacrifices everything else just to come to strength and conditioning,
Yeah.
such as yourself.
Yeah, sacrifice and sleep.
But funniest, I think that there would be some where they're like, oh, I can't make it because I gotta get to class or do something like this, and then like 10 minutes later I see them on campus somewhere else where they not supposed to be, and I'm like, were you supposed to be
Yeah.
in the gym, or you said you weren't there? But yeah, in terms of funniest, I typically they're very good. I don't think any athletes really, they're pretty straight up with me.
Okay, good. I like
Yeah.
to hear that. Which exercise do you secretly hate the most, but still make athletes do?
hate the most. Ooh.
I
Do you have one?
I would say in general for me, just running by itself.
Thank you,
I have a
because-
hard time
yes.
myself just running because I need some sort of stimulus. I can't just run like a long distance run.
Yes.
I think I'll do it if I need it
Yeah.
because I know it's important. But you got to put something like a ball in my hand or something to distract me. I just can't do it.
Yes.
But I mean, athletes are athletes, and we got a job to do, right?
I hate run. But I always say that. They're like, you play a running sport. I'm like, I only run because someone is chasing me. I'm not just the type of person who's going to go run a solid 10K. No, that's not for
I
me.
would like to add that I personally don't like burpees,
Yes.
but I've never made an athlete do burpees because I
that's
just
true.
I simply don't believe in it. For athletes anyway, athlete development.
Okay.
If it's just to make yourself tired, sure, if you want. I don't know. What about you?
Personally, I just I really hate conditioning days. Like both of my sports don't really need that much conditioning.
I would
It's
argue
very-
that.
No, it's very like
Don't you have to
power-
run bases?
Yeah, but I'm running for like 3 seconds. Right. It's not like I'm running for 2 minutes like in soccer or something. And in volleyball, like I'm jumping a lot, but you know, in a rally, I don't play middle, thankfully. But yeah, I jump like what, 4 or 5 times. That's like the most.
Okay.
Right. Probably a bit higher than that, but regardless, conditioning days. But exercise specific has got to be the dragon flag.
Ooh.
Do you know what that is?
No, I was
So-
about to ask.
Okay, so you're lying down.
Uh-huh.
Like, let's say I'm lying down right here.
Yes.
There's a pole behind my head. Okay,
Yes.
so you're holding the pole.
Uh-huh.
And there's 3 ways of doing this. Level 1, I believe, is you bring your legs up, so you're in an L,
Yes.
and then after you bring your hips up.
Ooh.
So you go straight, and then you bring your hips back down, and then you flatten your legs.
Okay.
Level 2 is you do the same thing, legs come up, hips come up as well, and you have to go as slow as possible on the way down.
Ooh.
All just straight lever.
Okay.
And level 3 is you're lying flat, and you have to move up and back down.
Yeah, my body doesn't move like that. Bless your
Yeah.
soul. Okay, we listen and we don't judge. What fitness trend makes you roll your eyes the hardest?
Ooh.
I think it's anything gimmicky, you know, like a lot of people really, really want to skip steps, and it's not, they think there's like a secret workout or secret exercise to get the goal that you want. And, a lot of people take advantage of that, especially if you're new to the fitness world. A lot of these people sell you on those programs. And like, if you do this like band resisted, like, hockey, like slap shot, then you'll develop more power. Those kinds of things bother me because it's not really, in my opinion, and what I've learned, it's not really backed by science. But a lot of people really, really fall for that,
Yeah.
So I think a lot of athletes like to bring that, and we try to myth bust as best we can. It's honestly, it's just simple hard work consistently, but that's so boring,
Yeah.
I
I
think-
definitely can admit that I've bought into some myths where I'm just like, oh, yes, 30 days. And I'm like, maybe not.
Also,
So,
like, those like pieces of equipment that you see on infomercials
yes.
where they're like, you stand on this board
And
and
it
it like
jiggles.
shakes,
Yeah.
and then it's gonna give you abs.
Ab rocket was a big one when I was a kid. I was like,
Yeah.
man, I want an ab rocket for Christmas. Never got one.
Yeah, well, and I don't think you needed that.
No, I
so,
didn't.
yeah.
But yeah. Jonas?
I'd say a lot of people get their information from fitness influencers that don't necessarily that aren't really athletes. So I'll hear a lot of guys that'll be like, yeah, today is gonna be legs and I'm gonna max out squat and then I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. In my opinion, training like an athlete is more important. And I know people say like science-based lifting is what they call it. They're like, oh, it sucks, this and that. But at the end of the day, especially when we're athletes, we got to make sure that we're training whoever comes in to be safe on and off the court, right? And we have to be able to program the right things at the right time. You can't just be like, all right, let's do 1 rep max bench press or whatever, and then the next day for like a rugby athlete, you have a game and I'm sure you guys do a bit of pushing, right?
Yes.
If your chest is sore, right, you could easily get injured if you don't have those muscles that are at peak performance. So, yeah, that's what I would say.
I think too, a lot of athletes see the pro level. They'll see like LeBron's workout or something like that, and they'll be like, well, that's what I got to do to be better. And I would say LeBron's at a completely different level, and I think LeBron would have been LeBron with whoever trained LeBron and whatever LeBron did. And I would challenge you, are you built like LeBron? And if the answer is no, then, I think
Most likely no.
I think if we're all more like on the average side, I think that, again, it just comes to consistent hard work. And you need a good coach. I think everybody needs a good coach to help guide you on decision making. There's so much misinformation. It can be very overwhelming on who you should listen to.
Yeah.
So I think that, hopefully we like to practice what we preach. So we want to make sure that everything that we do is science-based, and that we also live and breathe it. So that's why I really, really like having varsity athletes as S&C coaches to help with that kind of vision.
Yeah. It's like that relatableness that I love. Okay, and my last one is, if you were a piece of equipment, what would you be? And choose wisely, because I will judge you.
Jonas would be a mini band.
Manny's the green band.
Green
Okay,
band.
you'd be green band?
No, surely that can't be right.
Okay, Jonas, go ahead. What do you
Anything.
think? What do you think?
Piece of equipment.
Yeah. I like this question.
Yeah, it is a good question. I'd almost want to say kettlebell because it's very versatile. You can use it in many different ways. Yeah, and honestly, I'll go with kettlebell.
Kettlebell? Okay.
There's like a lot of like ways that, you don't necessarily think, especially if you're new to training, you wouldn't think of using a kettlebell in certain ways. Like if you're sore, you can use a kettlebell to do some soft tissue work, but not a lot of people think about it and be like, yeah, that's what I need to do. Like you should grab a lacrosse ball or a foam roller or stuff like that. All right, like it's very.
I like the way your brain thinks, because I wouldn't have thought of that, but
No?
that's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe I'd be a squat rack.
I was going to say Smith machine for me, so I could see squat rack.
The reason maybe I'll say squat rack because I'll always be there for you.
Wow.
Wow. I'm consistent. If you need some gains,
Okay.
I'm there for you. Always well sought. Everybody's looking for a squat rack. Everybody uses it.
Right?
You know what I mean?
They're never empty.
So I'm always there to support. and I'm also versatile, I think, maybe.
Yes.
So, yeah, maybe that's it.
Out here with the philosophical answer. Okay, that was good. That was good.
great, bro.
You know what?
Phenomenal.
We might just have to cut the podcast right there. No, I'm kidding. So moving on to segment 3, pieces of advice. So with our athletes, I always do an advice segment, and I'd like to do it with you guys, but in a different way. Okay, so what piece of advice would you give to new athletes joining varsity programs who may not have the experience of training before they join?
Come and lift. we're like, it's not like you're going to the gym on your own and, you know, you're doing whatever and you make your own program up, whatever. I know a lot of people start like that, and if you don't, that's totally fine too, but we're there to basically walk you through all the movements, right? We don't want you to get hurt. We want our athletes to succeed. So we do believe that part of that starts in the weight room, and that's why the coaches are here, right? We got to help our athletes do good on court.
Maybe.
Kind of, I'm still trying to articulate how I want to say it, but I'm coming from the lens of what mistakes have I seen these new athletes, you know, make. I've seen that they've done too much too quick, right? So they think that since now I'm on campus, I'm going to train super, super hard. Maybe they didn't set realistic expectations or goals. I think it has to start there. I like the motivation. I like them wanting to come and work. I think more so lately, we've seen a lot of athletes not know how to peel back, which is a great problem to have. I would say maybe 3 years ago, it was the opposite. Now that we've had buy-in, I think a lot of people do too much too quick. So being okay, I think I understand the pressures, but being okay where, yeah, you know, like you can take an off day, but what does that off day look like, right? And I would say that it all has to be, you know, you got to stick to the basics. Again, it's not super sexy. It's not a secret, but it's really the consistency. And I would say on that front, like to Jonas's point, when you come in consistently, be patient with yourself. There's probably a lot of things, and I'm sure you've gone through this, where, hey, I've never done that before. And, you know, I might feel silly doing it because it's a brand new thing. But just like any skill, you know, it takes time. It takes a lot of reps to actually get good at it, to get something out of it. So it's okay to be patient with yourself. Even if you are someone who views yourself as a really good athlete, really good mover, you know, our job as S&C coaches is to challenge you and expand your movement vocabulary.
Yes.
Right? So to push you and put you in your you know, discomfort zone. Like training is not meant to be easy whatsoever. We're actually trying to target your weaknesses so you become a more well-rounded athlete. So, you know, say yes to the mess, essentially.
Yes, I like that.
Wow.
Say yes to the mess.
Say
I need
yes
that
to
on
the
a
mess.
t-shirt. Say yes to the mess.
Put that on a t-shirt.
Okay. What would you go back and say to yourself in your first year as an S&C coach, or in your case, your first year at the helm of
First
leading?
year here?
Yeah.
I think say yes to the mess also.
Okay.
I would say that, I guess before, what I've learned is that nothing really goes according to plan. You know, before I took this role, I was working for ETS, right? And the way things were done there was slightly different here because of the resources, because of the time, right? I had a lot of constraints and I had to learn to be adaptable. So even though I tried my best to come up with a good plan, as soon as I stepped in, of course it's not going to go according to plan. So being adaptable, I think, is such a valuable asset in this field. And as long as you know where you want to go, it doesn't matter what direction you take. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. I like that. And then, oh, sorry, I didn't give you a chance to answer.
That's totally fine. I was ready to just move on.
Do you want to answer?
Yeah, no, it's okay. My answer's not that like complex, I guess. It's just be more confident. Like when you're there to coach, you're there to coach. And I remember in my first year, it was pretty intimidating. You know, I'm watching these OUA athletes, some of them OUA champions even. And I'm the one that's supposed to tell them what to do. It's a little nerve-wracking. And it's like, it's really not that serious. You know, people come in, they expect you to know, like, as long as you know what you're doing and you know what you're talking about, you'll be totally fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, that first, like, meeting athletes, it can be a little nerve-wracking. So just be confident, be nice, and like no problem should arise.
Jonas made me think of another thing I'd probably tell myself is that, I should have placed more emphasis right away on building rapport, building a connection with not just the athletes, but all the staff, everyone on campus, every single support staff. Over the years, I've learned that, I can't do it all by myself.
Yeah.
And even though I want to be science-based, I think the relationships is what's helped build this program even further. So I think that's what I would have said is, in order to create trust and buy-in, like more time spent with different people, learn to connect and things like that. Yeah.
Even for myself, building off on that, so I've been a varsity athlete here for 5 years, and in my first few years, I started in a COVID year, so
yeah.
But going to SNC has definitely built my confidence in the gym. At first, I was really nervous and I don't need to be in the space, or I shouldn't be, or I don't have the qualifications, or I'm not the best athlete, so I shouldn't be taking advantage of these programs. But like you said, building the rapport with the different coaches and yourself, and then building that confidence within myself going forward, I was just no, I have every right to be and exist in this space, and this is going to help me grow as an athlete and as a person and my overall health and well-being. And so I'm so glad that we have you guys as a resource here on campus.
I mean, that's what we're really proud of, is that we're actually, a lot of athletes have told us that it's a space that everyone loves to go to.
Yes.
And any gym space can be very intimidating, but we're very well-rounded, a lot of diversity on our team, and even all the different types of athletes. We have almost every single team in both institutions coming to see us now at this point. Whereas maybe 4 or 5 years ago, before that, you would have never seen that at all, right?
Yeah.
So I think we're really, really proud of the reach that we've had and how many people we've been able to influence in a positive way.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah. Okay, my last question is, what is your favorite part about being a member of Lord's Nation?
I like the gear, man. I really like
You know
the gear.
what? Yes, I have to say. That's
Although
one
I
of my favorite
lost
things.
my shorts.
Oh, you lost your shorts? Okay.
Which is very unfortunate. And I definitely need a new pair.
What
hopefully.
size?
Medium, I believe.
Okay, I'm going to keep my eyes out for a medium pair of shorts for
Yeah, I hope I actually didn't lose them. I'm joking. That was a joke. Honestly, I think as an athlete, definitely playing at this varsity level, being, having this opportunity to play in front of people, whether it's volleyball or baseball, it's just such a blessing. And sometimes we'll have teams, kids, they'll come watch, and it's just it's so inspiring to see that these kids are so flabbergasted. They're oh my God, you jump so high,
Yes.
Sign this.
Right.
And I'm whoa, man.
They'll definitely gas you up. It's such
Yeah,
a
it's unreal. It's unreal. And yeah, that's probably what I'm my favorite part, I'd say.
Okay, and Manny?
I would say, I mean, of course, I love seeing the athletes. It's so much fun, coming every day. So many people just walk into my office. I'm glad they feel comfortable, but it's hard sometimes to get work done. But it's just great, different personalities. It's always a fun environment. I really, really love that part. But I think with the people that work so closely, all the staff, the faculty, the people that I coordinate with all the time, everything behind the scenes, it's really evident on the DC side, obviously OT side as well, but we're talking about Durham Lords.
Yeah.
It's very evident that all the staff really care about providing a good student athlete experience.
Mm-hmm.
Every decision, it is just fun. They're easygoing and they want to get it done right for everybody. So I love that.
I love that too.
Yeah.
Well, this has been the Lord's Last Play with Varsity SNC. This weekend, we have women's rugby at home at Thompson Rugby Park, hosting games all weekend. We kick off at 10:30 and 12:30 on Saturday, and 11:30 and 1:30 on Sunday. Come out and support us, or catch us on OCAA Live. Men's rugby is on the road to St. Lawrence College on Sunday. Their kickoff is at 1 p.m. Men's and women's soccer play at home against the Centennial Colts on Friday, 6 and 8 p.m. respectively. Women's softball is also at home this weekend, facing off against St. Clair on Saturday, Lambton on Sunday. Double headers 1 and 3 each day. Last but not least, for Jonas over here, men's baseball is on the road to St. Clair College on Saturday, loading the bases at 1 p.m. All the best with your matches this week. Roll Lords. Please don't forget that you can follow the Media Hub on social media at DCSA Media Hub. You can also keep up with the SNC team at OT_DC_varsity SC on Instagram. And as always, you can catch me on the women's rugby page at DCW Rugby. Thank you so much and see you next week.